I'm pretty excited to get inside and see what goes on, and hopefully I can lend him a bit of a hand. So let's get in there. So lid goes on, and voila, beautiful beef burger fit for a king. So come and join me in the kitchen. So this is Callie, who is the production manager down here. How would you normally start your day off if I wasn't here getting in the way?
I'd probably be steaming off rice, couscous, pasta, sorting through our fridges and freezers and seeing what ingredients came in and what we can make with those ingredients.
Okay, so that's just a daily thing, you just come in and see what's there and just put something together?
Yeah, pretty much. Sometimes we're lucky enough to know in advance what we've got, but quite often it's a bit of a surprise.
Yeah? What's the weirdest thing you've ever got?
We did get a lot of haggis from a haggis festival.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and smoked kippers that come with it.
Fair enough. So what are we cooking today?
Today we're cooking a lamb, parsnip and mint braise.
Okay, and what ingredients are we going to need for that?
We've got some lamb, boned out leg of lamb. We've got parsnip, celery, carrot and onion. We've got sherry vinegar, some peach chutney, some pureed tomato and stock.
So how many serves do you think this will make here?
Well, this will make 4, but normally we'd cook using this 75 litre brat pan, and that would feed about 200 people when paired with sides.
And so is that your max, or do you do more than one batch?
We do more than one batch. We do at least 2 batches a day. Sometimes we aim for 3.
Okay, and just one type of meal per day generally, or?
No, we could do anything from a chili beef or a lentil and vegetable curry.
All right, well I guess we better get started today, get a move on.
Sure.
So I'll get on the veg, I reckon. You just want this just roughly diced, or?
Roughly diced would be just fine. I'll get on the meat.
That's lucky, because you've got the red board and I've got the green board.
Very good, Cam.
So you say sometimes a bit of a surprise what the ingredients are. Where do you normally get those from?
They come from a variety of sources. We do pick up from a lot of Woolworths stores. We send our vans up and they come back, and we jump on the back of the van, sort through what we want and what we can use to make our meals, because we just make savoury meals here, and there's a lot of ingredients that we won't use that are on the trucks, and then those extra ingredients that we wouldn't use, they'll go out to Vic Relief Food Bank in Yarraville, so other agencies can pick them up from there. And
then if they don't want it?
Well, if they don't want it, there's a very nice pig farmer from St Arnott who takes all the surplus.
My uncle's got a couple of shops out there. I still don't know where it is though. Well, I'm struggling a bit here with the veg. You might have to give me a hand.
No worries.
So what's the best part about working here?
Definitely the volunteers. It's a really relaxed workplace, and you meet so many different people. Like literally, the volunteers, they come from all walks of life. We have chefs, we have retirees, we have people in their late 20s.
Yeah.
We have some students doing international baccalaureate. We have some cookery students.
And do they generally just come for the one day, or do they make sort of a commitment to come for a period of time?
They do make a commitment to come for a period of time. You can either work weekly or fortnightly, and you either do a morning shift, afternoon shift or evening shift.
Okay.
And we keep them on those set shifts. We also have a singles night.
Oh, really?
That runs once a month on a Thursday evening.
That'd be a bit of fun.
It is. Sort of like speed dating with knives.
Oh, really? So, how much are we wanting to brown this off over here?
We're just wanting to get a bit of colour on it.
Okay. You're saying you cook all these meals, 400, 600 meals. Where do they all end up?
These meals end up with various not-for-profit agencies around town for anyone that might be food insecure. If they can go anywhere from like the Salvation Army, soup vans, various church groups that run programs, meals programs. They can go to families. All of our food that we make here, we freeze down, and then it gets transferred to Vic Relief Food Bank down in Yarraville, and it gets distributed from them. So if you're a not-for-profit organisation, you can apply to join Vic Relief Food Bank, and you organise time and you shop there once a week.
Okay, cool. And so then I guess that'd take a bit of pressure off you guys not having to distribute it then as well, wouldn't it?
It does. We did used to distribute it ourselves, but the cost of maintaining additional freezers and fridges down in our warehouse, which is insulated, was just prohibitive. So we reached a really good agreement with Big Food.
And they have probably a good connection with the people that need it the most as well.
And
so.
our agencies are going there to pick up food, and a lot of our agencies were going there already.
Yeah, that's good. So what happens if you come in one day and there's just no food to cook?
Fortunately, that hasn't been a problem. We do store a lot of backup in the freezer when we're constantly defrosting. And we have some, we don't just rescue food, we have some donors who give us donations each week. So I know each week I get 320 kilos of vegetables from Costas regardless.
Well, that's good.
And it's a great thing to rely on, because if worst comes to worst, I can still make soup.
Yeah, well, I guess there's probably a lot of people who are really depending on your service you're providing here, aren't there? So,
they are.
So what bit do you find the most challenging about this job?
Literally turning up some days and not knowing quite how the day will pan out, how many people are going to turn up to help us, what food we'll find off the trucks. You just kind of wing it.
What did you do with the haggis? How'd you offload that? Did you just keep it as is, or?
We just kept it as is.
Fair enough.
And it got distributed out to agencies. There must be a Scottish retirement village out there.
Yeah. What's the weirdest thing you've ever come up with here, meals-wise, not ingredients?
Meals-wise? We haven't had to come up with anything too weird yet. When I first started, we didn't have a good source of red meat. Now we're collecting from a lot more of Woolworths stores.
Yep.
We find we do have an excellent source now.
Well, that's good because... Well, that's really good because meat prices going the way they're going.
If anyone's listening, we need pastry desperately.
So how long would you generally saute this off for?
Just saute it off for the celery, onions and carrot till they're soft. Put in your seared beef and...
lamb or beef?
Oh, lamb.
I guess it depends what day it is, doesn't it?
Early morning. It does depend what day it is.
Lamb today, beef yesterday.
So I've just popped in some veal stock, and I'm going to put in about 2 tablespoons of a good peach chutney. You can use a tomato chutney, just a sweeter relish would be fine too.
Yeah.
And I'm going to put in about 4 tablespoons of tomato sugo. We've used tomato sauce at a pinch because we've had to. If you have fresh tomatoes, you could put those in with a little pinch of sugar. And about 2 teaspoons of Worcestershire sauce and a teaspoon of sherry vinegar.
Vinegar's a bit luxurious for this. They're all getting a treat, aren't they?
They do, but we have a lot of gourmet food stores that do donate to us.
Yeah, that's good.
So we do get some great ingredients.
There's a lot of waste as well, and that's why I think it is a fantastic thing, because I couldn't even imagine throwing all that food out. It's good that you guys can actually turn it into
that's something we're passionate about. Is most of this food, well, all the food we've rescued would have ended up in landfill.
Yeah.
And what we're feeding people, and we're also preventing all this good food from going to landfill, which is an absolute waste.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to finish this dish off with about 1/2 cup to 3/4 of a cup of chopped mint. Just stir it in last minute. And one of the volunteers brought that in for me. A lot of our fresh herbs are brought in by our volunteers.
Do you buy any food at all, or?
We only buy pastry.
Okay.
And if we wouldn't unless we had to.
Where's the pastry guys? Come on. That'd be expensive as well then. That's probably one of the most expensive ingredients.
And that's pastry sheets. Yep. We do get donated from Boscastle big lumps of pastry that we roll through the dough break machine over there.
Yeah, I can see it. It's an impressive machine.
It's a large bit of machinery. Really easy to operate though.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Smells good.
Oh, thanks. I'm just going to let that cook down a bit, probably for about half an hour. Then I'm going to pop in the parsnip, season, let it cook for about another 20 to 30 minutes and it'll be done.
What about the mint? Have we put that in yet?
No, the mint's going to be stirred in at the very end once it's taken off the heat.
No worries. Well, I guess we better let that cook for a bit then.
Sure. Okay, it's reduced down nicely.
And that's what you just want to coat it? Is that what we're
Yeah,
going
just
for?
so the meat and veggies are really well coated. A little bit of extra so it can soak into the rice or couscous. And we're just going to finish it off with some mint.
Straight from the garden, yeah?
Straight from the garden. Nicely washed this morning. And it might look like a lot, but the sweetness of the dish really needs it. So
how come you're putting this in right at the end and not at the start, or?
just so it gets a nice fresh taste and not a stewed minty taste.
Okay. Bit of zing to it.
Bit of zing, bit of zest.
You'd have to put a bit of mint in if you're doing it for 200.
Yeah, and we do. we go through it.
Crates.
We've been fortunate lately to have been given masses of pots of basil. So
Oh, really?
yeah,
Nice.
that keeps two people busy for 3 hours picking all the
Yeah.
basil. But it's been a great addition to our pasta sauces.
No, that's really good that people give you herbs. That
Yeah.
definitely take all the dishes to another
Just-
level.
Yeah, they do.
So just onto the plate now, are we?
Yep, just onto the plate.
Is that for me to do?
Yeah,
I better do
please.
something, better I?
We don't plate up here. It's straight into cryovac bags once it's cooled down.
Well, that looks
So-
fantastic there, doesn't it? You can smell that mint too.
Yeah, I should have
Smells
reserved
great.
some to garnish.
Yeah, well, I think you've got a few hanging around if you want. If you want to jazz it up a bit. There we go. Well, that looks absolutely fantastic, but I can see some people knocking on the door over there. What will they be up to?
They're our volunteers and they're just waiting to start their shifts so they can make about 1,000 egg and bacon pies and prep for all the sausage rolls we'll be making this afternoon.
Well, I guess we better get out of the way then and let them get on with it.
Yep, we don't want to hold them up.
No worries. Thank you very much for your time today and for showing us this wonderful dish.
Oh, my pleasure.
I'm here with Marcus, who's the CEO of Fareshare down here at Abbotsford. Now, my first question is, how did this all get off the ground?
Well, Fareshare started about 10 years ago with one group that was going and collecting food from bar mitzvahs and weddings, very much working within the Jewish community, and taking the food that they rescued after events had finished with it down to various charities. Now, at the same time, another group started up. They were collecting surplus food from businesses and bringing it into a kitchen at the RACV club in the city and cooking it up into meals. They take a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and then giving those meals out to the same sort of charities. When both initiatives went to the Pratt Foundation to really get cooking, the Pratt Foundation said, look, it's nuts, both of you doing the same thing, why don't you get together? And that's really our genesis.
Okay, so you just create one super charity.
On super charity.
So many meals to make. How do you go about sourcing all the ingredients?
Well, we've got no shortage of meat coming in can, we've got no shortage of vegetables. We're sorted really between the wholesale markets and Woolworths and Aldi with those ingredients. But we need more rice, more couscous, more pasta. The non-perishables, not surprisingly, are harder to get. So we approach companies.
And so lastly, what can the guys at home do to help you guys out down here?
Really, we need two things. Firstly, businesses that have non-perishable foods, so pasta, rice, couscous, herbs, salt. If you've got any food that you think we can add to the fresh vegetables, the meat, the cheese, the dairy that we get, then that'd be terrific and help us make more meals, make more use of that food that we're rescuing. But also, if you've got some time and you're able to help out in the kitchen, volunteer, get in touch with our volunteer coordinator. Jump on our website, www.fareshare.net.au. You can get all the contact details. So hopefully we'll see you down at the Fareshare kitchen soon.
And make sure you do whatever you can to help them out because they're doing a fantastic job down here.
Hey Cam, did you know that 1/3 of Australian households are now throwing out $1,500 worth of food every year or more?
It's a lot of waste, isn't it?
Sure is.
And with that in mind, this week I'm not going to go to the shops. I'm just going to open up my pantries and get creative. So see what I come up with. Stick around.